Hi, this is John Jackson, leasing to buy and lease-option-classes.com. Wanted to put a video together today for you about the different types of lease options that there are. There's three main types of lease options, really, and I wanted to discuss each one a little bit on this video here for you. The first one is a sandwich. It's a sandwich lease option, also called SLO. Now, a sandwich lease option is where you are staying in the middle of the deal, okay? So you've got three different profit centers there. And I'll draw my little characters here. Hopefully you can see them okay. Let's assume here's Mr. Happy Seller. Mr. Seller has an ugly face, apparently. Here's a seller. And here, you know what? Let's do it over here, guys. Let's do this. Here's a sandwich lease option. Here's the seller. We're going to keep tape rolling because we're going to rock and roll here. Sandwich lease option. Here's the seller. Here is you as the investor. I'm going to put you. Now, what happens with the sandwich lease option is this. You contract with the seller. You negotiate a price on the property. Let's assume, say, $90,000. $90,000 sales price. This is what you're going to pay the seller for this property. And you negotiate a monthly payment. Let's assume your monthly payment is $800 a month. So you have this contract between you and the seller. Your company is going to pay $90,000 for this house and pay $800 a month. So every month you're paying the seller this. Well, obviously, what you want to do as quickly as possible is find a buyer over here and this buyer, you negotiate with him, for example, say $100 and say $10,000. So you market the property, say $110,000. You've agreed to buy it for $90,000, okay? So if there's a $20,000 spread there, and let's assume this buyer is going to give you, say, $10,000 down. $10,000 down. And the monthly payment is going to be, let's just say, $1,000 a month. So let's look at this for a second. You have an agreement with the seller for $90,000, $800 a month. You then market the property for $110,000, $10,000 down, $1,000 a month. So let's look at the profit centers here. Because now you have this agreement between you and the buyer. You're paying the owner $800 a month each month. You're paying the owner. The buyer's paying you $1,000 a month each month. So you're profiting $200 a month on this transaction. The buyer gave you $10,000 down, so you're making the $10,000 down. I'll put this up here. So you're making $10,000 down. You're making a profit of $200 a month. Those are two of the profit centers. The third one is when they go to this buyer cashes you out. He's already paid you $10,000, so you have another $10,000 in equity. Well, sorry about this. $10,000 equity. So our three profit centers are the down payment, the monthly cash flow, in this case $200, excuse me, and the equity in the property, which in this case, because he paid you $10,000 down, is $10,000 because you have a $20,000 spread there. That's a sandwich lease option. Now, and the reason it's called a sandwich lease option is because you can see this. You are sandwiched between the seller and the buyer. You're sandwiched in there. The buyer pays you, you pay the seller. And so in Texas, though, you cannot do a sandwich lease option. I'll discuss that in a different video, but you cannot do a sandwich lease option in Texas, which I'll talk about later. But again, this is why it's called a sandwich lease option. Great avenue, great angle to use a lease option. I normally don't recommend someone starting off. If you've never done a deal, I normally don't recommend the sandwich lease option or taking a property sub 2, because if you don't know the market and the numbers properly and you just can't get a buyer over here, then now you're kind of on the hook over here. But certainly a great avenue to have 3 different sources, 3 different profit centers, as they call it. So let me erase this here. Let's talk about the straight lease option. The straight lease option is simply where you own the house. It's your house, your investment property, and you're lease optioning it to the buyer. So there's just 2 people involved. You as the owner, and you're lease optioning it to the buyer. So you set the price, you get your option fee, your option consideration, non-refundable, and of course hopefully you're cash flowing each month. So a straight lease option is what an investor would use if, rather than doing a straight a rental on a property, they want to make more money on it and have it taken care of very nicely, they do a straight lease option. So that's what a straight lease option is. Excuse me. Now the third is a let me see here. The third is an assignment. An assignment is also called referred to as a CA, cooperative assignment. Joe McCall refers to them as wholesaling lease options. Excuse me. Wholesaling lease options, cooperative assignments, all the same thing. Link options, all the same thing. They're all an assignment. Now, what is an assignment of a lease option? Assignments are what I've done for over 12 years now. And the way the assignment works is this. You have the seller. Oops. You have the seller. Let me get another pen here. You have the seller. Seller. Oops. And you have you. So an assignment, which this is one of the easiest ways to get started in real estate, you have the seller and you have you. In the assignment, there's no negotiating with the owner. You don't negotiate with them necessarily. The sandwich lease option, you're negotiating to get the lowest price possible. In an assignment, let's assume they want $200,000. Okay, so you sign a contract with the seller for, say, $200,000, $19.95 a month, whatever. Doesn't matter to you. But you sign the contract. Now you assign this contract over to the buyer. The buyer pays you an assignment fee. Once they do that, you basically drop out of the agreement, and now the contract's between the seller and the buyer. So that's an assignment of a contract, assignment of a lease option. Excuse me. So that's what we focus on, is the assignment. You don't have really any risk here, no money involved or anything, but those are 3 types: the sandwich, the straight, and the assignment. I recommend people starting off doing the assignment because Again, you can see you're just tying up the property for full price, getting an assignment fee, and you drop out. That's it. Now the buyer pays the seller, you're done. So those are 3 types of lease options. I apologize for my throat giving me a tickle there. But we do certainly have other videos you can watch at leaseoptionclasses.com. Again, leaseoptionclasses.com. We do offer 3-day live events a few times a year, normally in Texas. And hopefully you can attend one of those. But again, thank you for watching this video, and you can see more and more information at leaseoptionclasses.com. All right, thank you. We'll see you next time.